good evening, everybody. Welcome to Speaking of Zane. It has been a minute. I think March the 1st was the last edition, and I think that was a recorded one that I did right after Lori and I got back from Costa Rica. We had a wonderful week-long vacation on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, and then I decided to try recording a session, and I'll probably do some more of those recordings because convenience and different things. But I just wanted to come on tonight, let everybody know that I am still here. It's crazy. I don't know, when you, as things move along and as life happens, things happen. And I'm in this period now of just really figuring out what does Speaking of Zane look like going forward, and all the stuff, frequency and content, all that stuff. But anyway, it's been so long that I thought I needed to get on here tonight because I know we won't next Sunday night because it's Easter. So figured I'd get on and give a few updates and see how everyone is doing. Good to have everybody in there tonight. I think we've got Brenda Lusk, Jim Miller, Ken, Carl, and Daryl. I know Lori should be joining any time now. She's somewhere else in the house at the moment. But good to have you all in here. Certainly has been a lot going on in the news since last time with Iran and all those activities. And sadly, we've had quite a number of losses. Oh, Lori's there. Good. We've had, well, and we say a lot of number of losses. It's a fraction considering the effort, but one is too many, right? One is terrible because there's a family now that is missing a loved one, and now we've had some number of them with the various incidents and everything. And like everyone else, I'll just be happy when it's all over. And I think my personal opinion is it was necessary. I would rather us deal with it now than have our kids and grandkids have to deal with something much worse down the road. That's just my opinion. I know everybody is entitled to their own, and not everybody feels the same way about it. But I just think when there's a bully in the schoolyard, you eventually have to deal with it. And unfortunately, that's where we're at. And just I'm in the mode of just always remembering and praying for those that are in harm's way. And it makes the Red Fridays even more relevant. Remember everyone deployed, because we have a lot of men and women deployed at the moment in a lot of places. And because of the nature of the enemy, they're not even safe in some of these peripheral countries. It's just incredible when you have a regime that is just hell bent on killing all Americans. I mean, what do you do? I watch the news like everyone else and try to stay up to speed on what's going on. And again, remembering all of those that are deployed. Well, let's see. What about a health update? It's been a minute since we had a health update. Now, I'm the one, Lori and I are the ones that care the most about my health, but I know you guys are all interested. I did have, it's been 4 months now since I had the embolisms, and I have stuck to a pretty good regimen of staying in touch with my doctors, and have some really good pulmonologists who know all of that stuff about blood clots and things. And I have had some routine follow-ups of CT scans and what do you call them? Ultrasounds. And I'm happy to say that the doc is like, okay, everything's cool. Nothing's blocking anything. Your heart's good. Your arteries are good. And as long as I stay on the blood thinner, should never have any problems again. So that's all good news. I feel great, in the best health of my life. There's my cousin Toby in there. Hey, Toby. So should have nothing to worry about. I have had a birthday since we last met. 63 years old, if you can believe it. And that has me obviously thinking about retirement and how long I'm going to work and all those things. So that's all of that stuff's been weighing heavy on me recently, trying to get my ducks in a row and making sure I'm prepared for this, that, and the other. And good news is God has blessed me. I'm in really good health and hope to stay that way. Not that I wasn't in good health before. I've been the best health I've probably been in 3 decades, but it's a hereditary thing that causes these blood clots. It's not anything to do with health and diet and physical fitness and all that stuff. I'm doing great there. My heart's good and my arteries are good, so I don't anticipate ever having a heart attack. So anyway, feeling good there. In fact, I feel so good that you guys know I'm a walker. I walk 5 miles a day, and sometimes less, sometimes more. But I'm preparing for a 50-mile march. If you guys remember me talking about that in August. Is it August? August in Omaha. I'll be doing the 50-mile march. You can look it up, 50-mile march, Google 50-mile march. You'll see what it's all about. It's been going maybe 6 years now. But the founder is an Air Force vet, has a heart for veterans, and has been had this 50-mile march going for some time. The very first one, they had 6 people, I think, and the last one they had 160. So we'll see how many this year. But my friend Frank, my Air Force buddy Frank Williams, he marched last year. He lives in the Omaha area, Beaver Lake, and he said, "Hey, Guy, can you send me something of Zane's? I'm gonna march in his honor." And I'm like, "What?" He says, "Yeah, 50 miles from Lincoln to Omaha. It's like a 24-hour deal." And I'm like, "Yeah." So I sent him some of Zane's stuff, and then we got to talking and everything. He's like, "Well, maybe you want to do it with me next year?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." And so I am doing it. So you have some gates to go through in order to qualify to go do a 50-mile march. You have to attend some sessions, some information sessions, and you have to make sure you understand all the details and know the timing and all of that stuff. And you got no. I'm looking at the chat there. No, Lori has been great. Lori, yeah, she again. My illness is totally hereditary, like her blood clot. Her blood factor is also hereditary. But Lori's in the best shape she's been in. She's down 130 pounds, something like that. So here we are, both of us in our 60s, and the best shape we've been in some time. But anyway, so the 50-mile march, they make sure that you're going to be able to finish it. So you gotta go through all the pre stuff. You have to register, and you have to commit to raise money for the cause. A relatively high bar, I guess, $2,500 you have to commit to raise. You have like almost a year to do it. And I've already raised 3,500 and probably will raise 5,000. But and that all goes to the 50-mile march, and it goes to assist veterans in the way that they do. You can go to their website and see all the ways that they do it. They've got a great track record and everything. So I felt really good about that and achieved my goals pretty quickly as it relates to that. And we'll probably do a considerable amount more. But you also have to be in physical condition enough to walk 50 miles in about a 24-hour period. And one of the ways that you demonstrate that you're serious and that you're physically fit enough to take something like that on is you have to do a 20-mile qualifying march. And most of the Omaha-based people will be doing it together, I think on April 11th. It's a Saturday. I think they're doing it all together there. But for those of us that don't live there, you can do that 20-mile march anywhere. You just have to document it. It's got to be tracked on an app, which I've done. You have to show photographic evidence of your 15-pound rucksack and your water delivery system, like a Camelback. So you have to do all that, well, I did it yesterday. I was going to do it the week before, and I wasn't feeling up to it. It was 85 degrees. I just been out of town, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I looked at the weather forecast, and this weekend that we're in Atlanta was to be about 65 instead of 85. And I'm like, okay, that's much better to walk in. So I said, okay, I'll do it next weekend, which was this weekend that we're in. And then throughout the course of the week, we had our big pollen event start here in town. If you know anything about Atlanta or the South and the pine forest we have, this is about the time of year where we get the yellow snow. And I'm not talking about that yellow snow. I'm talking about pollen. And it is miserable. It gets in your nose, your eyes. It can be terrible, debilitating. So now I'm thinking, okay, I got the weather, but I've got the pollen. It's going to be crazy. But I got up yesterday morning. I slept in a little bit because I've been out of town this week. But by 10 o'clock, I was ready to go. I already had my rucksack and everything ready from the week before. Everything I thought I would need. I've been researching this thing like crazy. Socks, wool socks, and liner socks, blister kit, powder, the water, the what do you call it? Salt, everything that I could research, and I had everything ready. Add some. You're supposed to have some carbohydrates to eat on the way, and I don't eat carbohydrates. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm ready to eat boiled eggs and meat sticks. And they say your best bet is not to bulk up on protein, but to eat carbohydrates. I know I'm rambling, but I thought it was fascinating. Like protein bars, which is protein, but like granola bars, right? With fruit, maybe an orange or tangerine, crackers, like peanut butter cheese crackers, stuff like that. So anyway, I had a couple of granola bars, but I also had a couple of hard-boiled eggs and some meat sticks and plenty of water in the Camelback and everything. So I'm prepared as I can be, never having done anything like this. So I get up on Saturday, get all my stuff together, load it up, I weigh it, make sure it's 15 pounds. It was actually 15.4 pounds. That includes the weight of the Camelback, and it's about 6 pounds of water in there. And then you have to wear this. You have to take a picture of the backpack on a scale so you can prove that it was 15 pounds. So they're pretty serious about making sure that people are committed and ready. And so I get to, we have a trail here that runs from just west of Atlanta, northwest up into Alabama. That's called the Silver Comet Trail. It's a 61-mile trail, 12-mile wide, paved, relatively flat the whole way. It was an old railroad bed. It makes a perfect trail, very well maintained, a lot of scenery running through northwest Georgia. So that was what I decided to do. And my plan was to start. I know I'm talking about this more than I had planned to, but stick with me. So we have a trailhead in Hiram, which is just about 10, 12 miles due south of where we live in Ackworth. And I'm like, okay, I'll go park my truck, pick up the trailhead right there in Hiram. And then I'll walk 10 miles west on the trail and turn around and come back. And you got to kind of keep in mind where the rest stops are. For this race, you had to walk 10 miles and then you could stop for 30 minutes. So you have to walk 10 miles nonstop and stop for 30 minutes. You can walk a little bit more. You can walk more than 10 miles. And you don't have to stop at all, but they encourage you to stop. That's a good idea to stop. So my plan was to go 10 miles and stop, take my 30-minute break, start my app back up, and then walk the 10 miles back. But the way that the rest stops are don't exactly line up with that. So I didn't know, it didn't look like there was anything at the 10-mile mark, but another 2 miles beyond there was. And I thought, okay, I could go 12 miles, stop, have a nice proper rest stop, turn around and go back, and stop the timer at the 10-mile mark. But then I would still have 2 miles to walk to my truck. So I kind of winged it a little bit, and I was worried about everything. I was worried about I've never carried a pack like that. I was worried about the pack. I was worried about my shoulders. I was worried about would I hydrate properly? I was worried about my feet. I'm a couple of weeks into breaking in a new pair of shoes. I was worried about my socks. I was worried about blisters. I was worried about chafing. I wasn't worried about respiratory because I'm good there. I wasn't worried about my leg strength. I'm awesome there. I was worried about my back and soles of my feet and all of that. And I get 5 miles in and I'm feeling great. And I'm like, okay, the weather's perfect. It's sunny. It's 50 degrees. The pollen, there's no pollen. It's not bothering me. There's incremental shade and sun. It's through an old rail bed. And I'm like, this is great. 5 miles. I'm doing awesome. And I can do this. I'm a quarter of the way through. Everything's working great. I just have to go the next 5 miles. I'll be at 10 miles and I can turn around and come back. Well, I get to the 10 miles and there's nowhere. I mean, I could have just stopped on the trail, but there's not a bench, there's not a restroom or anything. So I thought, okay, I passed a really nice stop at the 6 mile mark and or 6 or 7 mile mark. So I'm like, I'll just keep walking and I'll just stop on the way back, which is what I did. So I walked 14 miles. So 10 out, turn around, 4 back till I got to a really nice rest stop with water and a bathroom and benches and shade and all that stuff. So I did 14 miles, got back. At 14, I paused the tracker, took about 25 minutes, took my shoes off, let my feet dry. I had wool socks, following all the recommendations and everything. And I had a granola bar, drank some water, had some, what do you call the salt? When you want to have the proper electrolytes. I had these electrolyte things that you put in your water and stuff. So I'm at 14 miles and I'm feeling great. And took a little break and got my shoes back on. My feet weren't too swollen. I think my fingers were more swollen than my feet were. But got the pack back on and I'm walking at a pretty good clip. And you got to be able to walk at, I think it's 3.2 mile an hour pace for the duration, average. And I'm a 63-year-old man, and I'm like, I don't know how people are keeping more than a 3.2 mile per hour pace, but I'm doing it. And So I'm making sure that I stay ahead of that. And in some of the downhill, the thing was relatively flat, but there's a few downhill, a few uphill. Um, and on some of the downhills, I'm actually, I don't know if you're supposed to do this, don't tell them, but I'm running, I'm jogging a little bit. And I'm thinking if I can just, on some of the downhills, if I can pick the pace up a little bit, I'll I'll stay ahead of that 3.2 mile an hour that I've got to come back with. And because the last thing I want to do is not qualify and have to do the friggin' thing all over again. So I made sure to stay ahead. And respiratory wise, I was feeling great, no trouble at all. I was able to run some of it, and but I never felt so good when I saw this Hiram trailhead 0.5 miles away, and I'm like, oh, finally. Never thought I would walk 20 miles. Um, and I did it in less than 6 hours, six-ish hours, not counting the 30-minute. So pretty good, under the pace that I needed, like 17 something minutes per mile, and felt good. And got in the car, came home about 10, 12 miles away, and told Lori how everything went and everything. And then I ate dinner. Um, Lori had a what do you call it, rotisserie chicken, and I had some leftover steak. And my body was really hungry after that. But anyway, so that is done, and I had to just come back, submit all the evidence in a folder on the website that they use, and made sure that all of that worked and got all that uploaded. But so anyway, so the next thing is to make sure that I can stay in the mindset and in the condition, so that when we get to August, I can do 50 miles. Now, I think the 20 mile is going to be more difficult than the 50, because the 50, from what I understand, there are stops along the way. You stop like every 5 or 6 miles, right? So you have an opportunity to, to rest, take your pack off, sit down, right? And the whole thing goes from about 11 in the morning to noon the next morning. So it's 24 hours to do 50 miles. But you have more breaks in there and all that stuff. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure I can do it just fine. All right. Well, speaking of physical activity, also have the Running to Honor 5K that we'll be doing. We'll be doing that in July, actually, in Michigan. And I'll also be doing it again with some of my coworkers in London and Amsterdam, which so I'll have 3 5Ks, which seems like nothing compared to 20 miles. But that'll be fun. Those are all about fun. And this is the very last year for the Running to Honor 5K. And it'll be held in Michigan. We're going to be there in person. And Aaron has had a very special challenge coin made that I'll share with you all at some point. Okay, well, let's see. What else have we've had? I know I've missed some birthdays. I've missed a lot of activities and stuff. But a very special birthday was about 2 days ago, I think. And that was Zane's son, Colton Pierce McDonald, Zane's son, Colton. Zane was the first of our children to reproduce. And so Colton was our very first grandchild 14 years ago. And just a special young man. Looks exactly like his dad, except his hair's redder. And he plays guitar like his dad. It's like, how can some of these things be hereditary? But he got a awesome guitar for his birthday. Gosh, I posted it on Facebook. You can go look at Facebook. You'll see the picture of Colton that I posted, but it's like a flying V guitar. Zane would have freaked out about that. But anyway, happy birthday, Colton. He's a special young man. And let's see what else is going on. So I spent the last parts of the last 2 weeks in St. Louis. You guys know I worked there, but I took the opportunity to be in there. We had a military veterans social gathering one evening in St. Louis, where our headquarters is. And then the next week, this past week, we did the same thing across the river in Edwardsville, Illinois. It's about 30 miles away. And we have a huge population of employees out there where our warehouses are. So we had another social gathering there, lots of veterans. We had maybe 25 or so of us gathered. But I'm home all of this week. I'm home. It's so good when I've got a stretch that I'm just in my home office all week. And that is this week. And then that following week, I'm actually going to our new Tampa office. Have my whole team there for the week, and lots of planning and different team things. And then home for a couple of weeks, I think, which will be nice. And then back to the London office for just a week. Haven't been there since last September, I think. I was supposed to go over, and then I had the problem with my lungs, and I didn't get to go after Thanksgiving. So looking forward to getting over there, catching up with the team over there, and we're going to be celebrating some achievements and stuff while we're there. All right, baseball is back. Any baseball fans out there? The Braves are 2-1. They won the first two against Kansas City here in town, and lost to the Royals today, unfortunately. But yesterday's game was fantastic with an 11-inning walk-off grand salami. So good baseball out of the gate, and always love it. Now I've got a dilemma. It's crazy. All these teams are streaming on different places, some on MLB, some on the cable channel, and you got to subscribe to this and that. And I miss the old days of TBS, Braves baseball. But now the Braves have their own TV channel, but they are partnering on DirecTV and Xfinity and stuff. And I'm a Comcast guy. I have an Xfinity because that's who I have my internet through and all the stuff. And I just this is the way things happen. I just downgraded my package on an Xfinity because I don't watch 90% of the stuff. In fact, I don't watch much of anything anymore. I mainly have it just for the internet, but Braves baseball was on there. Well, so I downgraded my package, and now it turns out that Braves Vision can only be gotten with the package I had. So now I don't have it natively, but I think it'll turn out better because I have to buy the Braves Vision for $99 or whatever it is a season. It's still a good deal per game, but that's probably cheaper than going back to my old package, which would cost more. It's just crazy what we're having to deal with. It's crazy how everything gets pulled out and picked out in one subscription, this, that, and the other. Kind of like it when everything was together. I don't know what the answer is, but now you can have 20 different streaming things, and it's like, man, I wish this was all bundled together. It's like, things go in cycles and all this stuff, but it's crazy. Anyway, so I'm back to my favorite way of following the Braves, and that's on regular over-the-air radio. And that's what I've done the last few days. So anyway, that's the way it is. Hat of the week has everything to do with what's going on around here. And because baseball's out of the gate, I've got one of my trusty Brave caps on. That's the hat of the week. All right. Well, there's been a lot of things going on this week in military history since we were last together, but the only one I decided to share tonight was today's, and that is National Vietnam War Veterans Day. National Vietnam War Veterans Day. And that's today, March the 29th. So happy Vietnam Veterans Day to all Vietnam veterans out there. They got a raw deal for sure coming back. And let's see, I'm not even going to try to tabulate any of the veteran cemetery visits. I'm so out of sync on that right now. Likewise with the Thank a Vet Challenge. I have thanked and interacted with a lot of vets since we were together on March the 1st, but I haven't taken the time to document it. But I'll get us back in some sort of cycle going forward. But even if I'm tracking it or not, I know you guys are out there and you guys are hyper aware of your fellow veterans. You're thanking veterans, you're having conversations with veterans. That's what matters, whether I'm tracking it or not. They certainly deserve an acknowledgement and a thank you. I've gotten lots of those over the weeks myself, and I appreciate getting those. All right. Only other thing I wanted to mention was you guys all know our friend Kelly Kowal, founder of My Warriors Place down in Florida. You can follow Kelly on Facebook, by the way, where she has been posting some of her experience from last week of a visit she's made to Camp Toccoa in North Georgia, near Currahee Mountain. If you watch Band of Brothers, you know about all of that. That was where the paratroopers trained in World War II. And her son Corey was a paratrooper, and Kelly got the opportunity to attend a jump school experience and go through all of the jump school training, all of the stuff. I was so glad to see it because when Lori and I were visiting her in January, she was telling us that it didn't look like it was going to be able to happen for various reasons. And the next thing I know, she's at Camp Toccoa and posting about the experience and everything. So you can go there and watch it, and she has chronicled. I haven't seen anything from her today, but I think the whole experience actually culminates in a jump. So I know she will post about all of that. And anyway, happy to see Kelly doing that, and all of the paratrooper community rallying around her and everything. So that's really good stuff. All right, team, that's about it for this edition of Speaking of Zane. Appreciate everybody dropping in. Now you know I am still alive here, and we'll be back again probably in a couple of weeks, because next Sunday is Easter. Wishing you all a wonderful Easter. And I want to give an update about our son. Lori, why don't you remind me? Our son Jackson, who's the Air Force veteran, he recently, he went to college, got a brewmaster degree and all this stuff. He wanted to be a pilot. He went to flight school. It just became so expensive. He just couldn't keep it up. VA wouldn't pay for it. You have to pay for it yourself. He soloed several times, got so far along, and it just was not sustainable. Turns out when you go for your private pilot license, you got to have a lot of money, and all the conditions have to be right. Weather. I mean, he made some trips where he did some cross countries from Kennesaw over into Alabama. Well, he gets over in Alabama, and the storms prevent him from doing the touch and goes that he needs to do. And then you have to come all the way back, and he has to pay for the hours and the fuel, and for nothing. Anyway, that's a long story. I think he'll eventually be in a position where he can go back and finish. But in the meantime, he's a survivor. In the meantime, he started looking for other things to do. And he's still an av geek and really aviation minded. And found out about a role called flight dispatcher. So he went to school to become a flight dispatcher and did very well. It culminates in passing an FAA exam. And so he passed the exam, and he did so well that the school asked him to stay on and teach. He did that for a while until he got offered a position at a major airline to actually go to their school and be a flight dispatcher. And his first offer was from Endeavor, which is Delta's regional carrier. So he's there in Minneapolis, just finished his first week in their program, and he's going to be moving his family up there in April. So super happy for him. It's not an easy exam, but I'm happy that he's moving on to something that is very, very exciting. And I hate that they're moving to Minneapolis. That's the sucky part, because they've got our granddaughter Carson, and so it means that we'll have to go up there. They'll have to come down here. We'll see how things play out. But he real happy for him. So anyway, I appreciate you guys all joining tonight, and look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks. And be safe, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.